The following is a My Talk 1071 production.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
If it's made in Minnesota, who's making it and how?
Yeah, you got that right.
It's the Makers of Minnesota, focusing on the products and services uniquely made in Minnesota, and conversations with the makers, entrepreneurs, and innovators in Minnesota about how they conceived of their products and how they brought them to market. With Stephanie Hansen, it's the Makers of Minnesota.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Hansen, and we are here with Makers of Minnesota, the podcast. Thank you, everybody, for all the comments and the feedback that we've been getting each week. You can listen to us on iTunes. You can listen to us on Podcast One, or you can also find us at My Talk 1071. Right on the website there, the podcasts are listed, and you can click on any of the various episodes we've had for Makers of Minnesota. We do have a Facebook page, too, so if you have suggestions about people you'd like us to interview, we are on Twitter, Makers of MN, and we are on Instagram. So if there's anything that you'd like to see more of or you'd like to give us feedback, we would certainly love to hear it. This is our 16th episode, and we are here with Brooks Chandler, and the company is canvasback.com. And I found this company because they had been nominated for a Minnesota Manufacturing Award. So welcome to the show.
Hi, Stephanie. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Now, I'm a dog lover, and I happen to have I've always had labs, and I have a cabin, and labs are always in the water at the cabin nonstop and trying to keep them dry as crazy. So I immediately, when I saw your website, I was like, oh, this is very interesting. So tell me what canvasback.com does. Tell me what you make, and why you think you got nominated for the Manufacturing Award.
Okay. Well, first of all, I love that you have labs because I grew up with black labs, and I have a black lab now. His name is Chester. He's all over my Facebook page, and he's just the best.
Yeah, I love labs too.
They're great dogs. So, anyway, yeah, if you're up at your cabin, I mean, the canvasback cargo liners it's a fabric. So I've got sewers in production. So we contour the back cargo area, and then we also go up the back of the seat. So like if you have a third seat, we'll go cargo area up the back of the third seat. And then there's also second seat backs too. So really the whole idea is when you're out and about, you're throwing stuff in the back of your car, everything's flat, because you're going to put all the seats down to make a bigger area.
Yep.
You're covered. All the carpeting in the car is covered.
So do people use them to cover the seats up or just when the whole back is flat?
When it's flat.
What I loved about that was I think that's actually more comfortable for a lot of dogs because seats are sort of jutted in and they're sort of unstable feeling.
Sure. Yep.
When you are flat in the back, A, you have more cargo space, but B, the dogs have more space to kind of lay down and figure out where they're going to be. Tell me how, one of the things I thought was really different about your design was how it attaches.
Right. We sew Velcro hook underneath the liners. So when you put that down on the carpet in the car, it grabs the carpet. So it doesn't hurt anything except for some of the cars now are making the carpet a little different where it's like a single fiber piece. So it's not grabbing the hook. In that case, then we've got a self-adhesive loop where you put that on it sticks down onto the carpeting in the car.
Yep.
And then the top is a loop. So it acts as good carpeting. And then our liner will go on top of that.
And it looks like, based on going on your website at canvasback.com, I want to make sure I say it right, that you research like individual car types and you specifically know exactly how these liners need to fit.
Well, we really it's a process. We use the dealerships a lot. I mean, without them, without the great dealerships, we would not be able to do this, really. So we go in and say somebody wants one. Right now, we just finished a Jaguar 2017. It's a brand new car for us. So our production manager, Suzanne, had to go in, and she crawls around in the car and measures it out and, sketches it. And that's how we get our patterns. So
That's
we
funny.
physically
Someone
go
wanted
in.
to put their dog in their 2017.
It doesn't have to be a dog, though. It can be firewood. It can be at the beach. It can be kayaks. It can be,
yeah,
anything,
excellent.
dirty bikes.
How did you come across the company? Because I'm under the impression that you bought it in 2006.
I did. Good. I have.
Thank God for the internet. I'm not going to lie.
I have some friends I had some friends in Idaho, and they called. There was a couple in Sun Valley that had this business, and they wanted to sell. So my friends knew that I was looking to get into some kind of a business, wanted my own business, and so they got in touch with me, and the three of us were going to purchase this business and carry it on.
Yep.
So just a really, it's been a long story, but very short answer on that is they couldn't do it anymore. Family problems and financial problems.
Yep.
And so I took it on and bought the business, and then in 2006 moved it to Minnesota in 2008 in Spring Park, right on the west side of Lake Minnetonka there. And so I've been there ever since, and we just keep expanding our space.
So when you bought the business, what had you done prior? Had you been in manufacturing?
No, I was selling.
Of course not.
No way. I was selling movie theater advertising. I was traveling the country.
Really?
Working
for like Regal or selling the on-screen ads?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a company out of St. Cloud. And I traveled all over the United States. I would get into these little towns unbelievable. I mean, it was such a great experience, just all over the place, in small town America, in bigger towns, and just going around to all the local businesses and getting people up on screen for advertising. It was really fun.
Oh, that does seem fun. So you had a sales background. You get some partners. That didn't work out. How stressed out were you when your partners crapped out?
Not so much.
Okay,
really?
You were just like, this is not uncommon for women in business.
Yeah, I liked that, actually, in a way. I mean, it was too bad.
Yeah.
Because that didn't work out, but there's no way that they could have done it. My friend had a massive stroke.
Yep.
And they just could not do it.
Yeah, that's going to be hard to.
So, I took it on, and I was thrilled to take it on.
So manufacturing in Minnesota is interesting to me for a couple of reasons. One is it you have sewers that are sewing these liners. How many sewers do you have on staff right now?
I'm a little short. I've got 3 full-time. I've got 3 contract sewers. I'm looking for help. I've got a couple cutters. I've got 2 people in the office. I've got a production manager. And it's the one thing about manufacturing is it's hard to find help.
I was going to ask you about that
because
it's
really difficult.
We're hearing that from the manufacturing sector, that it's really hard to find help, sewers in particular. And a girlfriend of mine used to own JW Humantown, and she worked on, Jen Garino.
Yep.
She's at Shinola now, and she created a makers coalition to try to create more opportunities in the work of sewing and the sewing field, because we do have a lot of people that need sewers in our town.
Right.
How do you get someone? Do you advertise and then you train them, or do they have to know how to sew to come to you? I mean, it would seem so specialized.
Well, it is, and it's a dying trade, or it has been a dying trade for so long. And the Makers Coalition, trying to bring that back, and then Dunwoody having the classes there, and then trying to place all of these people after they graduate.
And I'm under the impression that the placements go pretty well.
Yeah, it's changed now, so I'm not real familiar with it anymore. But we reach out to Craigslist, Minnesota, what's it called? Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That works pretty well for employment from most of my clients.
Right. I think that's maybe not really a skilled craft. Even Craigslist, we post in our hometown.
Yep.
We would really like to get local people, trying to get the local people in.
And you're right on the edge of Lake Minnetonka there.
Right.
That wouldn't
Spring
seem
Park Bay.
That wouldn't seem like a very economical place to manufacture, being right on the lake. Did you just find a building that was perfect for it?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted a building that was actually close to the water because my vision when I bought the business is if I can get sewers, we can sew anything. And with all the boats and, repair for boats and toys
Car seats and
all
or
sorts
boat
of things.
seats. Yep.
Right. So that was my thought anyway. And it hasn't really happened just because we're so busy working on the
Yep.
automobiles. But yeah, it's a great space. We also have a big roll-up garage door that I was looking for, so we can bring cars in the wintertime and pattern them up. So we borrow cars from the dealerships and bring them in, and then we work on it for the day, make a prototype first, then check it out again, and then take some pictures and bring it back to the dealership.
And you're on your way. Typically,
Yeah.
how much does one of these cost?
Anywhere from $159 on up.
Okay. And the on-up would be extra material or different material?
Yep. We've got 7 different fabrics. The prints are a lot more expensive. Well, $20 more for a print.
Okay.
They cost us a lot more.
Yep.
We should actually raise our prices.
Why don't you? As it just honestly as a question.
I don't know. Our thing is that we really do want to help people. We don't want to price ourselves out and not have people be able to have these because we get so much feedback and people just really seem to like these liners.
Is there a competitor in your field, and is it hard to be like, here you are, you're making a product, you're making it in Minnesota on the shores of Lake Minnetonka, which is a great story.
Yeah.
Are there larger, like, big box stores or those kind of people that are creating a product that's like this? And do you worry about that?
I don't really worry about it. I like the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's doing exactly what we're doing, though. The companies that are doing full liners, a lot of them are universal liners. So they're not so tailored. We're pretty tailored.
Right.
We do the cutouts for the child restraints, and we're pretty exact. And we're getting more and more anal as years go on.
But I think that's probably what helps you stand out. If you're paying $40,000 for a car, right?
Yeah.
Generally, so you want to treat it like it's the investment that it is, and have something that's going to fit. And
right. And the big thing is, when I originally was looking at the business, I thought, you guys, I'm not really into cars that much, so I don't think I want to do this. And then they said, but Brooks, your biggest customer with these liners are dog owners. I'm like, really? Okay.
So that sold you.
Yeah, because the dog hair gets into the carpeting, and it's so hard to get out.
Yes.
So really, probably 95% of our customer base is dog owners.
Okay. That would be me, actually.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just listening to you talk, thinking, oh, my God, I need one of these. I read that you've got employees. Well, do you have any thoughts about like the minimum wage? And we talk about that the minimum wage is going up, and my other radio show is about restaurants, so we talk about it in the context of restaurants a lot. Is that an issue for you, or are you having to pay skilled labor anyway?
I'm, probably mid-range.
Yep.
And what I can't do, I really try to make up in different areas. Just lunches and taking them out on the boat, which actually I didn't do that this year. Sorry, guys. But, just anything else that I can do. I took them, we went to the Ryder Cup on the first Monday when it was open to the public, and we just piled in the car and went and walked around and told them not to clock out. And, I try to do little things like that.
I think some of those soft things as an employer really make a huge difference. When you read about employee satisfaction surveys, it's kind of crazy how much people enjoy getting food at work.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it's just such a small
We like our
expense.
food at work.
Yeah, but people really, and they like chili cook-offs, and they like all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's something that you do a lot in your place?
Yeah, and then one of our gals that sews, Leilani, she is she's a great cook, and she's a baker. So she'll bring in stuff all the time, cupcakes and cookies and breads and things like that. And people will bring
Yum.
things in, or we'll all be hungry and say, let's order pizza. And
Is Canvasback dog-friendly?
yeah,
So everyone brings their dogs?
we have, my dog, we've got Monty.
Okay.
That comes in, a little Yorkie. We did have another yellow lab that would come in, but there's only really 2 of us that have a dog right
that's
now.
surprising.
Yeah.
I've always wondered about companies that have a dog-friendly culture, how that goes with policing the dogs. Like if you get a naughty dog or, you get someone that doesn't play nice with others. I've always wondered how they kind of sort all that out in a dog-friendly environment.
Yeah. We have a little French bulldog that comes in every once in a while, and when he gets a little crazy, then he's just crated.
Okay, he has to go to timeout.
But we're also warehouse, so
Yep.
we're dirty and we're messy and we're making things. So it's we don't have to worry about trying to stay clean or anything.
Sure.
And if they don't get along, then we just separate them.
Yeah.
But that really hasn't happened.
So in your business here, you started in 2006. You're 7 years out. What is next? Is it just continuing to grow? Is it trying to keep up? Is it kind of a moot point if we can't continue to find people that want to be in the manufacturing industry? And
I don't think that we'll run into that. I
Okay.
think that there's such a huge push on it right now. Minnesota and the United States, big time in manufacturing. So I think that, with everybody behind this, I think it's going to come up. And we've been working on it for a long time
Sure.
also. So I believe it's coming up, even though for us and a lot of people, it's still hard to get those sewers in and in that, skilled trade.
are there
people in.
other products that you want to make that you haven't?
Yeah, we used to have seat covers and second seat covers, and actually years ago the second seat cover was our biggest seller, but then the cars started to change a little bit, and
Yeah.
then the fit wasn't so perfect, so we said, okay, we're going to shelf this and we're going to just focus on the liners.
Uh-huh.
And now we're getting caught up with where we need to be with some of the new cars and
Yep.
the new 2017s. We're starting to make those second seat covers again. And that's always great too, because not everybody likes to put their seats all the way down flat. So we're starting to do that. And another thing is that we have a lot of scrap
Sure.
material. So I keep looking at this and going, we cannot just throw this stuff away. It drives me crazy. So we've been starting to make little dog toys, little bones. We've come up with a little food bowl, water bowl.
Like a portable one?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Anything that you can do or that you need in your car. Waste baskets we're thinking about, maybe on a drawstring, matching fabric to your liner.
Yep.
Door covers, headrest covers. We've
All
got
great
some duffel
ideas.
bags. We're
Uh-huh.
doing some duffel bags. And another nice thing that we're doing is we've got a duffel bag. It's a mesh bag. So for like hunters and dog training people, it's a mesh. So it's breathable.
Yep.
So when you're out and you're throwing dummies and training your dog and you're throwing everything back into the bag, it's, it
Going
can
to dry out
yeah,
their
it can-
slobbery mouths.
yeah, you got that word
I
from the
do.
website.
No, I have
Or
a
from-
lab.
oh.
And it has a slobbery mouth, and it's always
Yeah.
like balls or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Right.
funny.
Right.
Do you have that on your website?
Yeah. Where was it? Oh, it was on Facebook. Our social media people put it on Facebook.
Let's talk about social media. Is that like, in terms of marketing your product, what is the best way that you found to market your product that you can really like say it was XYZ?
Most of it is just organic search,
Mm-hmm.
SEO.
Yep.
That's the big thing. The social media is good because you can interact with people, and people love to send photos, and
Yep.
we love our customers. I mean, we've got the best customers, and we also go to them to help us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what should we do now?
Right.
What do you think about this? Is there any, they get a liner, and do you have anything to say about it? It's great. Or, it was a little long here or whatever. And so then we try to adjust. So, yeah.
And social media, is that something that you do? Is it something you hired? And was it hard for you to kind of bite the bullet on that? It seems like a lot of my guests and customers, it's sort of, they know they have to do it. They're not great at doing it themselves. It's hard to monetize necessarily. So it's a hard decision for them to make to hire someone to do it.
Right. But you've got to keep up with it. And I've got some social media people that are actually right across the street.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a la carte. And I just did a plug, didn't I, for a la
Yes,
carte?
you did. Hello, a la carte.
They do a great job, and they're on it every single day.
Yep.
If somebody responds, she's on it right away.
And that
Right
is a
away,
big
just
part
like
of
that.
it, is the two-way communication.
Yeah, and we're trying to get photos, and we put those. We can put them on the site. We can put them on Facebook or Pinterest or wherever.
Are there other Minnesota manufacturers that you admire, or people that you've met along the way of your entrepreneurial life?
I admire Jen a lot.
Yeah,
Don't know her real
Jen
well,
Garino,
but yeah,
she's-
I love that company.
She actually she went to Shinola to be the head of the leather goods department, and she just got a promotion to head of manufacturing. So I thought that was
I
pretty
read
neat.
that. Yeah. I guess off the top of my head, I'm not coming up with a list of people, but there's so many great companies out there.
There
And
really
when we were
is.
at the Manufacturing Awards, these companies are unbelievable. Everybody's doing really well, and the companies are fantastic.
Yeah. And when you lay in bed at night, is because and your mind's going
It
like,
keeps
I could,
going.
and it never
It never
shuts off.
stops.
Is there something that's a continual thought that you have that's a worry?
Not really a worry, but a lot to do
Yeah.
You
So
know?
work-life balance, maybe.
for sure.
'Cause-
I'm really working hard on that right now.
And tell me what kinds of things you're doing. Like, are you just working a lot and you're trying to find a way to carve out space?
Yeah, I would say the past couple weeks I've been really good about trying to get more of a balance because as an owner you don't get that balance.
Yeah.
Usually.
I found I didn't
it's,
either.
Yeah, it's constantly on your mind. You cannot turn off.
And even when I wasn't at my job or my work, I was still thinking about it or planning for it or, strategizing
Right.
it. It really was hard to turn off unless I literally traveled somewhere else.
Right. I mean, you can just be talking to one of your friends and all of a sudden something will trigger
Yep.
and you'll just go this way and you're looking at them, talking to them, but you're kind of thinking, oh, that reminds me of something.
And you're being conscious of it now. So what kinds of things are you doing?
I am trying not to spend the whole day at the office, going in a little bit later, doing some of my personal stuff at home. But I also tend to get in my home office, and I'm still working.
Yeah.
But just trying to have some fun a little bit more, and not spending every Saturday and every Sunday in the office, going out on the lake, playing with my dog.
And strategic vision, I think, is something that tends to take a back seat to the day-to-day of getting the product out the door and delivering it. And those it takes you freeing up your mind to think about what's the bigger picture, what's next, where do I see this going? And when you get
Right.
into it, it gets hard to see that.
Exactly. You have to remove yourself. I have to remove myself to be able to look at the whole picture and think, okay, well, what do I need to do, and what would be good for this business, and try to stay away from all the little day-to-day stuff. My staff's great. They're holding down the fort, really. I mean, I'm getting to the point where I feel like I don't need to be there. I get questions every once in a
Sure.
while, and I need to help. But if I'm not there, my vision is bigger.
Yep. and thinking about how to take care of them in a bigger way
Right.
instead of just, making sure that Plan B got shipped or whatever you're.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to lay in bed and worry about shipping.
Really?
Oh, God. Yes. And every couple Saturdays a year, I'd get a call like someone needed something and it didn't arrive and they were going to the trade show on Monday. And, then you're trying to figure out how to get it to them there. And are there other, do you like partner with other dog businesses, or is that arena something that you explore?
I've done the Humane Society walk.
Sure.
I've done, my big thing right now is every year doing Splash for Cash for the Mound Dog Days.
Mm-hmm.
So Canvasback sponsors that, and that is just so much fun. You really should come out next year and see it.
And is it where the dogs jump?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We've got a dock builder that comes over and puts the dock out, and then we have an exit ramp for the dogs to come back in, and we've got a thrower at the end of the dock, and it's just so much fun. So the longest jump wins.
Cute. That's a great promotional idea.
Oh, I know. It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's really a gas.
When you think about what's next, like how will you know when you're done with this business?
I think, I don't know. When I run out of energy?
Yeah. I mean, that might simply be the answer.
When I don't have the passion for it anymore?
Do you see yourself as being a serial entrepreneur, or do you see yourself as more the kind of person that will stay with something and try and grow it?
Well, for now, I'm going to stay and keep growing it. But again, I don't know how long that will last.
Yep.
I'm assuming it'll last for quite a while, because if I don't do it, I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
First of all, and I can't not do anything, because I'm going to be a terrible retirement person.
Yeah, I'm finding that myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what do we do? Go out to lunch and
yeah, it's not easy. So, any words of wisdom for women entrepreneurs? Is there anything you've learned along the way that you'd like to share?
For me, I don't see the difference, actually. I mean,
tell me about that.
I don't know if that's a good answer or a bad answer.
A great answer.
I just think people are people. It doesn't matter if you're a male or a female, and I'm not quite seeing the, women have it harder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing that.
It's interesting because there's been a big debate about, is the feminist movement of the 70s obsolete? Did they make the gains they needed to make? And are we now equal and able to, do the jobs and fulfill the roles that we want to? I sort of felt that way for the longest time. And then I had the opportunity to actually talk to Gloria Steinem about sort of her beliefs about it. And
neat.
It did change some of the way I thought, but I felt like it doesn't matter if I'm a man or a woman. I own a printing company. I never even qualified to be a woman-owned business. I never went through the certification because I just thought, does it really matter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think in retrospect, maybe I wasn't 100% right about that, but I do think that in order to continue to move forward, in some ways, we have to stop being separate and in a separate category. Mm-hmm. And if we're in business together, let's just do business together and treat each other well. And maybe it's Pollyanna. Maybe it's us as women trying to get along with everyone and be nice. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. I think it might depend on what industry that you're in and how corporate it is.
Yeah.
The real corporate industries or jobs, positions, I think there's probably more of that. But we kind of do our own thing in our little shop there, in our dirty, messy little shop.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of women-owned entrepreneurs are in kind of the similar, smaller businesses made up of creative people sort of wanting to have a different lifestyle, than the 9-to-5 corporate world. Mm-hmm. So maybe we're lucky that we just found those
a little removed from it all,
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
Yep. All right. Well, it's been super great talking to you. Congratulations
Thanks for
on being a
having me.
finalist for a Minnesota Manufacturing Award.
Yeah, that was
I read your story. I was like, wow, right on the shores of Lake Minnetonka, there's a lady who's manufacturing canvas for cars for dogs. That's pretty
strange,
cool.
Huh?
Yes. It is canvasback.com where you can find the products. And I'm speaking with Brooks Chandler. What is your Facebook channel? Do you know?
I don't know. I just go on to.
It's probably the same as Canvasback.
Yeah,
Because I did
Facebook-
see you on Facebook too.
Facebook Canvasback. I don't know what that
Yeah, I think it's probably the same. So no worries,
Yeah.
people will find it.
Okay.
All I have to do is Google because you have search engine
Yep.
ad click-throughs
Yep,
and
you'll find us.
optimization.
You'll find us. I just go right to the page on my computer. So
I understand if it's bookmarked. I've done
Yeah.
that too. All right. Any thing that you have coming up through the end of the year with holiday that you want to talk about?
we don't have any events coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We did Goldzilla with the Ragam, the Golden Retriever, rescue
Yep.
deal. That was fun for a couple of our employees. Went to that. Just getting ready for Christmas.
Yeah. Is it? I was going to ask if this is a big gift that people give.
Yeah, Christmas is definitely our biggest time of year.
And do you
So
have you
we're
ever thought
vamping
about
up.
dog beds?
Yes,
With your scraps?
we're thinking about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I still think that no one's making the perfect bed.
Well, you need to tell me what the perfect bed is, and then we can make it for you.
You know what's funny? I should, because Jen Greeno and I developed the perfect tote for a woman, and it's like a #1 seller over at JW Hume.
Really?
Yeah, I brought an old tote in that I had, and it was falling apart, and I said, I want one like this. And then we, what about these pockets? And she made a prototype.
Perfect.
Yeah, and it's their St. Clair tote is what they call it
Isn't
now.
that fun?
Yeah, it was fun, and I still use the bag today, and it was really fun because you need someone that is going to use the product, live with the product in order to figure it out.
Exactly.
And as dogs get older, they need different things too.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I don't know, maybe there's a way to arrange the beds by age of dog, so that like the older dogs, you had more padding. The younger dogs seem to want to nest more, maybe coming off of being with their moms. I don't know. Maybe something like that.
Yeah. We last year or maybe the year before, we were talking to a customer and he was saying, do you guys have anything for coming outside of the car? Because when my dog jumps up, he's scratching the bumper.
Yep.
So we said, no, we don't, but we'll make something for you. So we made this thing, and it's called a bumper flap. And so we sew Velcro loop on the back of their liner, and then we have this big piece of fabric, and it has the hook underneath, so it just attaches right to the back.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Call it a bumper flap, hangs out the back, and we're selling a ton of them. So we
That's
use our
cool.
customers for new products.
All right. Well, if anyone has any ideas, it's canvasback.com. You can find Brooks. Thank you for being our guest today.
Thanks so
Super
much.
fun to talk with you.
Yeah, it was fun coming in.
Stay tuned for 60-second AP News headlines.